What is up, y'all? It is your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building. I decided that I'm going to start reviewing Insecure. I really like the show. I like it more than Basketball Wives and all the other bullshit that I do. The other shit that I do, though, I actually like Black Ink New York and Real Housewives of Atlanta. I love doing those, so it's not an issue. But I decided, what the hell, I might as well do this, because this is something I'm really into, and it's very relatable, and I actually went through some of this. So, this is season 2, episode 2. I didn't recap the first episode, because at first I just wanted to enjoy the show, but I'll just catch you guys up on what's been going on. Probably already know what's going on. Anyways, Issa... I love Issa Rae, first off. Very talented. She's just brilliant. Anyways, her and her boyfriend Lawrence, they've broken up because she cheated. He found out. And, she cheated with the dude. I forgot his name. And he is so fine, y'all. Fine chocolate man. Ooh. Anyway, she cheated with him, and she ended up telling him, well, you were an itch I needed to scratch. Totally been there. Very relatable. I understand that. Because I remember, being in my 20s, and there's just certain people, you just want to see, and even being a teenager, it's just certain people you got to give a chance to because you like them, and it's always been something about them. So I understood that. So anyway, she done cheated on Lawrence. They done broke up. Lawrence is not really coming back to her. The first episode, Issa is just still sad that, he hasn't came back yet. They haven't gotten back together. She's moping. She didn't talk to Molly and her friends about it. And she's just in that really distraught place. And, we've all been there, with somebody that we want to get back together with. So that's pretty much what's going on with her. They end up sleeping together the last episode, and it wasn't a makeup sex. It was just, I need to get this out. I miss you, but I don't know if I should move on. It was one of them things for both of them. So, we've all been there. Like, this show is just so fucking relatable. Anyway, I also related to the fact that she cheated on her boyfriend. That's something that I shared in one of my ebooks, What I Expect from Myself and Others. I went into, my story of, how I was in my 20s and the situation happened with me. So all of this shit, you guys, is just right up my alley. Been through it. Know what's up. Okay, so on this episode, pretty much what happens, Molly and Issa, they're talking, and Molly is trying to break down, like, well, what happened? You guys talked, and, she's just like, I tried texting him, he's just giving me these one-word responses, yeah, we had sex, and then Molly is like, well, what type of sex was it? Was it we getting back together sex, or was it fuck you sex, and Issa is not sure, she's just really confused. Why hasn't she heard back from him? So that's the state of mind that Issa is in. Next, they show Lawrence, he's working out. He takes a break from working out, and he actually wants to text Issa saying things are just fucking weird right now. And then he ends up erasing that, and, Lawrence is in a spot of he's really hurt. He really loved Issa. And, he's seeing the girl Tasha, and she works at a bank, so, and she's a rebound, because I don't feel like Lawrence really, she's not Issa. Tasha is very the opposite of Issa. She's just very people-pleasy. She's not really giving you the real her, you can really sense that with her, good time girl, pretty much, so. Next they show Molly, and Molly is seeing a therapist because she's having issues in her career. Last year her relationships was all fucked up, And the one thing she really could count on is her career. And it's like now, and the new situation that's going on with Molly this season is Molly finds out that her white male counterpart at work is getting paid way more money than her. And it's like, is he getting paid more money because he's white, because he's a man? What is it? You know, she's telling the therapist, I do all of this for the company. I go above and beyond. And I am still not being treated the way that I should be treated in terms of my paycheck and being acknowledged. So Molly, her thing is going to be this season, I guess, on getting some recognition at work, you know, for her hard work, you know. So, and the therapist is letting her know, you know, you keep saying how things should be in your life, but just because you feel like something should be a certain way, that don't mean it's going to be that way. And Molly was just like, well, I was just taught, you know, if you work hard and do certain things, you should be able to get certain things. And this is very she's an overachiever, so this is very normal for, you know, those type of people to be like that, to, you know, if their personal life is not good, they want to really overachieve in their career. So totally understand that. And I had a friend like that where she wasn't really that lucky in the relationship department. And, you know, she just would always tell me, you know, oh, I look good on paper. And, you know, and I didn't understand it. But now you can kind of see some people, they don't feel like they can have the best personal life. So they succeed in their career. That's what makes them stand out. That's what makes them feel good. And Molly is the same exact way. So, you know, that's the dilemma, you know, she's facing. So next they show Issa and Molly, they're with their other friends. I forgot the bigger girl's name. And then there's a slimmer girl, pretty girl. And then the one girl, the bigger girl, she's so funny. So funny. I'm going to need to figure out, I'm going to get their damn names, y'all. I don't like referring to people like that, but she's very funny. Okay, so they are supporting the slim girl. And I guess it's some kind of work event for her. And they're just sitting up here, you know, talking. And the funny girl, I'll call her that, she recommends, you know, them going to a bar. Issa's like, no, I don't want to go to no bar right now. It's just loud, people all over the place. You know, and that's just not what I want to do right now, you know, because she's in a space where she feels like her and Lawrence, they may get back together. And Molly is kind of looking like, oh, you got it, because Issa said, oh, well, we talked, me and Lawrence, he came by and we talked, had a good talk. And Molly was like, really? What did y'all talk about? Because she know Issa is full of shit. And, you know, Issa just ignores her, and she's trying to just put on that face in front of her friends like, yeah, we talk, and hopefully, you know, I don't expect us to get back together right away, but hopefully we get back together, you know, hopefully we can work things out, because, you know, we don't just throw 5 years down the drain. So then the slimmer, the light-skinned girl, she ends up saying, well, yeah, you know, things happen in relationships, and sometimes people need time, and, you know, if you cheat on a man, it takes them a while, you know, to get over it. And she had mentioned some stuff about her relationship that the girls didn't know about. She was just like, oh, well, you know, me and my man, you know, we had our issues. And they was like, when? And she was just skipping right over that. You know, she's the friend where she wants you to believe her relationship is so perfect, and she doesn't really want to give you details about her business, but she'll be all up in yours. This show is so motherfucking relatable, you guys. When I tell you I know who each character is, I know they asked. So yeah, she mentioned that her and her man spent some time apart because they had an issue. I'm thinking maybe he stepped out, you know, some shit went down. And she said they end up working it out. And so that's what Issa is feeling like may happen with her and Lawrence. Now, the funnier girl is saying, oh, well, you know, you was with Lawrence for 5 years, but 2 of those years he was on your couch and unmotivated, and, you know, you should just move on. And I don't really care for them type of friends. A lot of times, them type of friends are not in relationships. It is so easy, you guys, to tell people to just move on, fuck the other person, but they don't have to live with your decision. You know, they don't know, they haven't been in your relationship. They telling you what they would do, and what they would do is fine. They are single. You know, when it comes to our relationships and the people we love, I just feel like we should always try to work it out, because tomorrow is not promised, and you may not meet that type of person ever again. The people that we love are very special. So I feel like Lawrence and Issa will eventually get back together. It's not going to be in the beginning of the season. It may be next season or something, but I don't see it happening this season, because that's typical sitcom stuff where they'll have them. Remember with Melanie and Derwin, they had them break up. Then they kind of got back together the 3rd season. I'm kind of feeling that. You can really feel that they love each other. I know this is just a show, but the acting is good. You could tell that they both really care. And sometimes these cheating things, they happen so you will realize how much you love a person. These bad things that can disrupt our relationships, sometimes they can be good, in the sense that it shows you who you with, the consequences of your actions. You know, it just really shows you that, hey, I got somebody special. I think Issa took Lawrence for granted. That's why she cheated. You know, that's why she cheated, and she was just sick of the same old mundane situation. So, you know, that's why she stepped out. And it's just unfortunate that men cheat all the fucking time, and we supposed to get over it, but then when we cheat, they can't get over it. So that's pretty much what happened to that, with, you know, with them being at the Friends work event. That's pretty much what they talked about. Oh, another thing they brought up is the girl Tasha. And the funny girl brought Tasha up. And Issa was like, well, who is she? I ain't know nothing about her. Oh, she was like, oh, Lawrence didn't tell you? Oh, and then Tiffany, I think the girl's name is Tiffany, the light-skinned one. She was like, she told the funny girl that Lawrence was seeing somebody, and then Tiffany was just like, oh, well, I figured she was just a rebound. It wasn't no big deal. Then Molly looks the girl up. Issa's like, no, I don't want to look at her. I don't want to see how she look. I'm not going to be petty. And so the next thing you see is Issa in the bathroom rapping, because whenever she has a dilemma she can't figure out, she raps, get her feelings out. I love that part. So Molly ends up coming in, and she kind of interrupts Issa at the end of her last line. And, you know, she knows what she's doing. So Issa ends up saying, man, look that bitch up. You know, because she still wanted to look at the girl and, you know, figure out what's going on. So next scene is Issa going over to Lawrence's place. He's staying with a friend. This guy is really rude. Talking about, did you change your hair? And girl, you been, it was so funny. He was like, you've been using that mane and tail shampoo and conditioner. Why your hair looks so different? You know, he was just like, he was just, I didn't know if he was giving her a damn compliment or an insult. It was just so funny. And she's just looking at him like, man, Negro, is Lawrence home? And he was like, well, no, he's out. And, you know, so she ends up leaving or whatever. That shit was just so funny. So next they show, do y'all peep Regina Hall in the little movie that they watch? She plays a slave, and it's just so funny and crazy. I didn't know that was her at first. Anyways, Lawrence and the girl Tasha, they're watching a movie. Lawrence looks pretty down, like he has a lot on his mind. And the girl Tasha, she gets a text from her mother talking about some family barbecue. And she ends up inviting Lawrence, you know, trying to hit around that she wants him to come. So anyway, instead of just flat out asking him, So anyways, Lawrence is bothered. He ends up sharing with her that him and Issa slept together. And, you know, Tasha, her whole body language changes because she cares about him and she likes him a lot. And, you know, she's just disappointed. So she asks him to leave. So next you got Issa. She in the bathroom brushing her teeth. And just looking up the girl, and, you know, she's curious, and, you know, she just feels hurt still. She's like, what does she have? I don't. You know how you feel when, you know, your ex-man is seeing somebody new. It's like, how does bitch look? Does she look as good as me? Why does he even like her? What's going on? And, you know. So then they show a scene with Molly, where Molly is talking to this lady at her job, and she's going to be going to a sports event to try to fit in with the white guys at her job. I actually went through a little bit of this a few months back, and my experience was horrible, so I'll get to it in a little bit. Okay, so next you have Issa and her coworker, don't know her name, and they are sitting up here talking to the principal. One thing I picked up is the white girl noticed that the principal be saying little racial slurs, you know, and to me it was really light compared to the shit I hear white people saying about black people. But you know, it bothered her because he did make a nasty comment talking about putting up some kind of wall, and, you know, it just bothered the white girl a lot. Issa kind of blew it off. But yeah, he shouldn't have made that comment. That wasn't cool. And he's the principal guy. He's the type of guy where he cracks jokes. The shit ain't funny. He thinks the shit is funny and he be laughing. Just weird. So we'll get more into that. Okay, so next you have Lawrence is talking to the guy that Issa was talking to, his friend. And the guy just says, man, why did you have to tell your new girl about what you and your old girl did? Why you have to go all John Legend on her like that? And he's like, I'm just not that type of guy. I just have to keep it real, you know. So then he said, well, that's why old girl came around here looking for your ass. Issa, that's why she had stopped by. Anyways, Lawrence is about to look at a new place. It's a 2-bedroom. Lawrence looks nervous, like, wow, I'm really about to move into this new place. So I guess he's going to get it. It looks nice enough. So next, got Issa and her coworker. The coworker is still bothered by the racial things, the racial slurs that she feels that the principal makes, and she can't get over it. You know, it just bothered her. And Issa is still acting kind of passive about it, you know, because I don't know. I think it maybe for Issa it's not a big deal because she's black and she could kind of see his perspective. So I don't know, but Issa's acting really passive about it. She's not offended like the white girl is. Okay, so next, Issa and the girl, they are presenting for these children, I guess, letting them know, you know, what they're going to be doing. They don't really get too much into it, but we can only guess, child. So next we got Molly. She's at the hockey game trying to fit in with the guys, you know, kind of cracking jokes, kind of the eyeball out. And I had a situation a few months ago where I was around these white men, and I would come in, and I was taking a class actually, and I came in and they're, you know, acting, I don't know, it just felt weird. It just felt, they stopped talking when I would come in a room. It just made you feel like you're not involved. So you're not included. You know, if I said something, this one guy, he would completely disagree. It was a white guy, just disagree and just look at me funny, and you know, so I can only imagine how Molly feels, because I felt the same way, and it just brought me back to that. So okay, so next we have Issa. She's reading a book and she gets back on Tasha's social media, looking at pictures of her And, just trying to figure out what Lawrence sees in her. And, it really bothers her. And they just shoot back to Molly at the hockey game, just feeling left out. And, she's just trying to fit in so she could play the game at work and kind of come in their world a little bit and see, if she can get her coins up like that and kind of fit in. But they're not even... They're entertaining her, but you could just tell that it's a club that she's not included in. She's black, she's a woman, it's just not, And I went to schools like that where I just didn't feel included or a part of, so this show is just so relatable, and it can really take you back to places in your life. Okay, so next we got Issa and her coworker that she works with. They hear the principal, and he's walking by some guys, and he tells them, well, don't speak that Spanish right now. You save that for the bus. And, the white girl, she feels some kind of way like, hey, we need to tell Miss Joanne about this. I need to put this in the notes. Issa is like, well, we can't do nothing to change him. And, I feel like he's an oppressor and, this isn't right. She has an issue. And I think she says to Issa, well, what if he was white doing this? Would it be cool then? And no, it wouldn't be. But Issa is really passive about it because she doesn't want any drama. She just wants everything to work out. And she doesn't really feel like, I don't know. It's like she doesn't feel like it's blatant enough. She knows it's wrong, I think, but it's like it's not that bad. So let's just work it out. Let's not ruffle any feathers. So I'm believing that's how Issa feels about it. Okay, so next you got Issa talking to the principal guy, and, he's saying, the Mexicans stick together, Jews stick together, and he is so right. All of those people, they stick together, and, it's hard for black people to stick together, and I understood what he was saying with that. I don't agree with the stuff that he says. I don't think it's right, but... And then he was getting into, this school used to be all black. And, Issa kind of looking at him, and she's just like, this man is something else. So he ends up walking off and telling these kids pick their pants up and, All right, so next is the next day at work for Molly, and she is mentioning the lobster rolls to the guy because they had shared a brief discussion about them. How good they are and how he has them in his pocket and his wife doesn't like that. And so the next day he's just acting like he doesn't know what she's talking about and, kind of looking at her funny. Like I said, you guys, I went through this with these two white guys some months back and I just felt like the oddball. I just stopped talking to them. I'm not going to try to fit in with anybody. I just could be nice, make conversation. Hopefully Molly gets that too. But, all right. So, Issa, she's back stalking the girl's page, staring at her, trying to figure out what she's about through her social media. She's on one. And then she realizes that the girl works right by where Lawrence works. So she ends up driving there. And the first time they show her going in there and socking her, that's really what she wants to do. She's in her car thinking. And we know Issa ain't gonna do that. Issa, you ain't about that life, girl. But you know how y'all feel about your man hooking up with another bitch. You don't like it. I remember that situation happened to me where I had cheated on my boyfriend and he ended up hooking up with this girl while we were broken up. And I remember I would look at the girl. She was like really overweight and wasn't pretty. It was like, what do you see in her? Like, like you become... You in love with this man. It's like, what do you see in her? So I definitely, and Tasha is not ugly though, like how this girl was. She ain't ugly at all. But Issa is just, you know, she a little obsessed with the girl because the girl has the attention of somebody, you know, she wants. So I think that Tasha's just a rebound. That's what I think. Okay, so next we have Molly. And Lauren sees Molly and they have a conversation. And, you know, I didn't know this, but they were acting at the time. Issa has set up Molly to be near Lawrence's work, so she would run into him. And so they're talking, and she's just like, well, how have you been doing? And, you know, Issa's still hurt and sad. And, you know, she cheated, but she's not a cheater. And, you know, Lawrence don't really want to hear that. He's still hurt, and, you know, he just don't really want to hear it right now because he doesn't want to come back to Issa right now. He doesn't really say that, but you could just tell with his demeanor. And Issa ends up seeing the girl walk out of the bank. So I think she's at a credit union or a bank, y'all. I forgot. Anyway, she's slouching down in the car. And then this damn security guard knocks on the door. You know, oh, that's before her girl calls her. Molly ends up calling her after she talks to Lawrence, and she's like, girl, I'm sorry, but, you know, he said he's moving along, and, you know, so I don't believe that that's true. That's just for now, because I feel like he really does love Issa, and that girl Tasha is not holding a candle to Issa. So Issa hears what Molly says, and she's all slouched down, laying in the bag, and Molly is just like, well, hey, you want me to come over? Issa is like, no, girl, I'm cool. And then that's when she gets the knock from the security guard to, you know, because he's like, you can't sleep here, you know. I thought that was funny. So, next, we got Molly, and she is talking to sound like a former co-worker. I guess they're going to be working together. Lady is working in Chicago, and she said she would like for Molly to go back and forth from California to Chicago for a few months, helping her out with some stuff. And then next we got Lawrence is back at Tasha's house, apologizing again, and, you know, she's just like, you know, it's whatever, you know, you slept with your ex, we never said we was exclusive. She trying to act like she don't care, but she do. And then she says, well, you know, I got some food cooking on the stove. And he, you know, kind of walks away. He's like, oh, okay. So he walks off, and then she's like, well, are you hungry? And I'm like, look at this bitch trying to feed Issa's man and then give him that cootie cat. Girl, you better leave Issa man alone. He gonna be back with Issa, y'all. Don't y'all motherfucking worry about it. All this shit didn't happen to me in real life, okay? I didn't live it, and they ass always come back. So, and they did. They come back. It's when you least expect it. And it's something else that was said is, these men, they'll come back when you kind of happy with somebody else. You're kind of okay with your life. Oh, the last scene, you guys, is actually Issa, you know, really accepting the fact that Lawrence is not coming back no time soon. And so she is making sure she uses up all the closet space. And then she goes on one of those social media apps, and where it's a dating app, I guess. And she was like, I want to fuck or something. And I'm looking like, Issa, you don't need to turn into no hoe overnight because the man ain't coming back, you know. I wish she would hook back up with the chocolate guy. Issa, you might as well get it in, honey, since Lawrence ain't coming back no time soon. He will be back, y'all, because like I said, these two, they really love each other. I could feel it. I could sense it. All right, y'all. It is your girl, Brand New. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check y'all later.